The land is our foundation, and Land Synergy is here to solidify and restore. Join us as we connect the dots of land restoration, sustainable practices, and self-sufficiency. It's time to get rooted.
Welcome back to Land Synergy, guys. I am driving, got a trailer full of tree, and I was inspired to make this episode real quick because it just hit me. Pretty much that this morning I was dumping the compost. We have a compost bin inside, any scraps, food scraps, so bananas, strawberries, vegetable peels, even cheese and other products, just bones, all that. The container had filled, and I took that, went outside and dumped it. And when I did, it really hit me when I was looking at it. What I've been doing lately is digging out the middle and then putting it back. And when I first started composting, the first process, it was essentially me just throwing all the compost on top and then digging it into it, right? And so it was kind of scattered. And what I've noticed from this modality, this method, is it seems to be harboring more worms. And so I'll dig out the middle, right, of the compost. It's a heap, a pile. So I dig out the middle, dump it in, and then I add some leaves to match that nitrogen that's being put in, add some carbon. So if it's a container full, I'll put about a good handful, about the same amount of leaves as what the compost or the scraps that I'm putting in. I cover that back, put just a little bit of leaves on top to just kind of retain some heat, and then I go to our water container and fill up about a good liter or two and dump that right down the middle. So the compost that was just poured in is rich in water, and it's just soaked, and you got the heat, it's just ready to go. And so my findings when I opened up the middle this time was that it was the compost that I had poured or put down there the other day. It was like you couldn't tell what it was. It had broken down so fast. Now it didn't turn into small particles or fine pieces, but it was definitely not visible. It was black and it was broken down. And what was the most extraordinary was how many worms there was, guys. It was fascinating to see just how many worms there really was. And I was just truly appreciative because worms are such a foundational element in the soil. And I believe humus is when you have compost that's broken down by these organisms, right? From the biggest to the smallest. So you have the worms that maneuver through the soil, and then they poop that out. And then you have bacterium that eat that, break that down, and then poop that out. And then you have smaller, and then et cetera, until it can't be broken down any further, and it's humus. And so just the fact that the soil, worms I feel like are such a great indicator to the health of the soil. And I was just so appreciative. So I just wanted to share that with you. You've probably heard of vermicomposting, and this is essentially where you get a crate, and it's a whole system where you layer the worms and or at least to build worms so you can break things down faster. Guys, not that you don't need to do that, but if let's say you're strapped for cash, or maybe you like to DIY, get you a compost heap, start your scraps, right? Maybe get some clay, some dry clay, and add that to about maybe 5 parts organic material, maybe some clay, because the clay has a high surface area, so this helps the water molecules, etc., to attach to the soil that's being created and to retain some of that water. Now something like sand, that wouldn't be good because it's not going to hold too much water. You want something like clay, has a high surface area. And so it also has, I believe it's negatively charged, so that's some of the it also attracts things to it to bind. And so if you want to create your own vermicompost, try that, guys. Simply add the get you a heap, dig out, like, pile everything on top, and then when you get some food scraps, simply dig out the middle dig out the middle, and then pour it on top, and then cover it and add water and let that do its magic. And then let me know your experience, guys. Hit me up. The website's coming soon, and as well as the YouTube. But if you're listening to this on YouTube, we've probably got way more episodes. If you want to stay up to date, stay in tune with the podcast. That is the source to do that. Now, also, I appreciate you guys staying tuned in with this podcast, because I know there was some background noise in the background. So with that, guys, until the next one, continue to keep synergizing. I'm going to get some more wood. Gonna be burning that wood down and collecting the ash, and honestly probably make some charcoal as well. Definitely want to build some charcoal and add that into the compost as well, not just the ash. We'll break that down in another episode. But until the next one, guys, keep putting it together, keep synergizing, and I will talk to you in the next one.